I want to take time out of my day to talk about Colton McKivitz. I never do, unless it's something bad. So my YouTube channel was I originally made it in 2018 so I could rip on Mike McGlinchey. They drafted him in round 1. He was a first round pick to play right tackle, and it offended me. They talked like he was going to be Joe Staley's heir apparent at left tackle. It was never going to happen. He couldn't play left tackle, and as a rookie, he would go in these one-on-one drills before you weren't allowed to post him on YouTube. I would film him, post him. He would just get worked daily by Cassius Marson. I would write about it. People didn't believe me, so I had to give video evidence. And I just objected to the whole Mike McGlinchey experience. He talked like he was a captain on the team when he wasn't. He talked like he was a general manager of the team. He would do big picture stuff when he couldn't even win his one-on-one matchups. He would frequently get himself in positions during games where he'd be like horizontal off the ground, parallel to the freaking ground, 4 feet off the. It's like embarrassing and stuff. He could get beat once and then get beat in the next 3 plays over and over and over. It's just like mental toughness was. I mean, I just objected, even though he seemed like a good guy. So I was tough on him. Then he leaves. They replace him with Colton McKivitz, who they have the same name. It's like you go from one Mick right tackle to the next Mick tackle. And I think the fact that Colton wasn't that much better than Mike McGlinchey, felt like I could just keep talking about this guy the same way that I talked about McGlinchey. But there are some important differences between McGlinchey and McKivitz. One, McKivitz is legitimately better than McGlinchey at this point. McKivitz has slowly improved every year, while McGlinchey's best year was like 2020, something like that. At his best, McGlinchey was a very, very good run blocker and a horrendous pass blocker. I feel like, why was he such a horrendous pass blocker? Because he weighed like 285. He could get out and run. He was great in the zone blocking scheme. Couldn't anchor, and he would get tossed around. McKivitz doesn't get tossed around. Sometimes he doesn't have the speed to match up with the best edge rushers in the league, but it's like he's a right tackle. And I think the right tackle is always the easiest target on the team because it's like, oh, well, he doesn't have the quickness to play left tackle. True. He's not a left tackle. He's a solid right tackle. He's ascended to solid caliber. But is he overpaid? No. Is he injury prone? No. So really, you could argue that Colton McKivitz is one of the more underrated players in the team. He deserves some props because really the only time people talk about him is when he loses, when he gets beat. And I got a little Colton McKivitz story. He's hilarious. He's from West Virginia. He's got a dry sense of humor. He's very similar to Mac Jones in that sense. And what I like about Colton, he's been a starter for 3 years, but he didn't make himself a weekly spokesperson of the team in the locker room like George Kittle is. Some players need to be that. He hadn't earned it yet. I felt like McGlinchey never earned it. And he did it because he was a first round pick and he was trying to do the right things. And I felt like trying to say the right things and it came off wrong. It's like you can't talk about the whole team when you can't even handle your job. Colton didn't start standing there talking to the media once a week until he was doing his job well this year. He didn't do that in the past. So he's taking on a leadership vocal role. Gotta love it. It's his turn. He earned it. And he's got a personality. He's funny in commercials. He's funny in press conferences. He's smart. He's patient. Even though people like me dogged him for years. You wouldn't know it until the very end. Like yesterday, we had a press. Yesterday he didn't talk. He talked on Wednesday. He was cool. He was talking all about his bye week and how he went to Napa and how he's into wine. He's learning how he's a duck hunter. He eats a lot of duck. I mean, this dude is refined. Although everyone from West Virginia hunts ducks is what I've learned. But so yeah, he did that. And I went home. I told my dad, hey man, you're not going to believe it, but this West Virginia dude is like deep into wine, really likes it. My dad's intrigued. I asked Colton McKivitz about it on Wednesday. I was like, have you been to Napa? Have you been to Sonoma? He's like, not that much. I was like, well, have you been down the coast? You could do the whole coast. Have you been to Santa Barbara? This dude is so funny, man. Non-Californians. He says, I haven't been to Barb yet, but I want to go. Colton. No one calls Santa Barbara Barb, but I'm going to let you slide on this one because you wouldn't know. Anyway, yesterday, it's toward the end of the media availability in the locker room, and Colton's hella funny. So he's like sitting down and kind of like talks into his sweatshirt. He's like, get the hell out of here, which made me laugh. And so I peeked over to see if it was him, and he was still trying to play it off. And he was like, "Grant, get the hell out of here!" So he said it pretty loud, and he's done it to me before. So I was like, "Hey, Colton, I want you to know, I told my dad that you're a wine drinker and wine enthusiast, and now you're his favorite player." And like without missing a beat, with like a little grin, he goes, "And it only took 6 years for people to like me," which is true. And I was like, "Well, at least it happened though." I mean, never happened for Mike McGlinchey. So Colton wants some praise. Colton wants some props. And I think the dude absolutely has earned it. If you look at Pro Football Focus, which does a pretty good job of grading process over results, he's one of the top offensive tackles in the league this year. He's one of the top players in the offense this year. Shout out to Colton McKivitz. But you got to stop calling Santa Barbara Barb. It's just, I'm growing out my beard, and I just really don't want it to look like Colton McKivitz. That's my only thing I have to say about Colton. If you're watching Colton, it's just so wrong. It looks, but what I will say is it's very West Virginia, because I went the one time in 2022 when the Niners stayed there, and I went out to a bar one night that was by the hotel I was staying at, and I dressed. I tried to wear my nice, because I'm out of respect. I mean, I'm out of town, so I had like a little Ralph Lauren, polo shirt and some jeans and some shoes, and I combed my hair, and I walked in. And everyone, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like the record scratch, like, it was like, everyone looked at me like, who the fuck is this guy wearing clothes? Everyone was wearing camo. It looked like they just got back from the duck hunt, and they had these big Colton McKivitz beards. So that's not really what I'm trying to look like. I'm trying to look like Ricky, as you can tell. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'm pulling it off, because Ricky's a 25-year-old NFL player, and I'm a 37-year-old. Let's call myself a non-NFL player, although I'm definitely an athlete, and I'm extremely handsome. But I don't know. Who rocks it better, me or Ricky? Anyway, Colton McKivitz, you're now I tweeted in January that he's my favorite player, but now he's definitely my favorite player. I'm getting the Colton McKivitz jersey. I'm naming my firstborn Colton. Or maybe just McKivitz. McKivitz Cohn. That has a ring to it. McKivitz Cohn. He's everything seriously though. He's such a better right tackle than McGlinchey, because you didn't take him in round one. He's a 5th round pick. You're not paying him $20 million a year. He didn't have a quad reconstruction. He doesn't talk like he's John Lynch. He doesn't take himself too seriously. Upgrade. Shout out to Colton. I hope I did a good job with that. Jonathan Cucumber Melon says 2 tight end sets will be deadly. Tonjes and Kittle filthy.